All right, what's up, everybody? Look, man, you know what? A while back, man, somebody asked me, somebody DM me, and they say, man, talk about talk about financial advice. Talk about financial advice. And so I started thinking to myself, I I've had some financially great days in my life, and I had some financial woes in my life too. And to me, and to the people I've seen that is so quote unquote successful. Like this is what people have to understand about by finances and financial gains and financial means and stuff like that. There are things in life that will allow you to acquire financial gains just a lot easier than other things. You know, uh, like when it comes to like people who have financial access and financial assets and financial success, you got to kind of look where they got it from. You know what I mean? Like, like when I look at sports, like athletes, right? They went, they prepared, they trained to go play a sport that just so happens to give them a lot of money for staying in shape and being conditioned and playing these games that this country love. Did they really do a lot? Yeah, a lot of them did go to college and they graduated, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they were skilled to a point to where they could have opted out at college, maybe before they graduated, before they did obtain a degree and go play these professional sports, you know? Um, the same thing with like actors and actresses and stuff like that. Like, man, you can go to these schools and you can go to these art schools and stuff like that, but you have to understand it has to be something about you because like I tell people, there's millions of people who go play sports that don't go get to play in the big league to make the big money. There's millions of people who go to these art schools and do this training to become, these great, artistic people and don't get that chance. So it's like you can't base financial success off the chances that these select few people have. You can't base it off of that. So and then on top of that, you got to understand, man, imagine if everybody went to college and got a degree. Imagine if everybody went to college and got masters in business, masters in nursing, masters in whatever. If everybody was to go and get masters, guess what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be room for everybody. You see what I'm saying? And like, you got to have your hierarchy. And the sad part about reality is that there is a hierarchy. There's a pecking order, there's a food chain. You're going to have people at the top, you're going to have people at the bottom. Everybody can't be the founders, everybody can't be the CEOs, you know what I'm saying? And everybody can't be the foot soldiers. Everybody can't be the custodial people. Everybody can't be the cash register folks. Everybody can't be that. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks if you feel like you're on the bottom of the food chain. Yeah, it sucks. And I can tell you put your mind to something. And I can tell you work hard. And I can tell you to plan and to plan and to prepare. But the reality is, if you're not providing something that this world needs, or if you're providing something that this world already have too much of, you might not gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? Like the world, it doesn't need oversaturation. It's like the music business. It's like especially the rap game. Everybody and their mama right now feel like they should be rappers. You know, and it's good. Hip hop, the world of hip hop and everything. It's an inclusive industry. You know what I'm saying? If you try your hardest and if you just happen to be rocking, you can get in. If you're not, you can't. But everybody is using that now as the end all be all to them getting to success. In most cases, they're trying to use rap. You know, even if they don't want to be an actual rapper, but they're trying to use that as to get into some place of success, some area where they can become financially somewhat successful somewhere, you know? And so when I was talking to people about financial advice, right? They asked me, like, you know, tell me about financial advice. And I'm thinking, you know, first of all, never see, like when you see these people, and first of all, you see these people and they're wealthy and stuff like that, and you don't know the backstory on these folks, and you don't know how they got their money, who they're attached to, you know, who they're family with. You can't automatically assume that, first of all, you know, everybody was bestowed something upon, you know, because I feel like as a black man, that really is a lot of us, like a lot of our problem too, is that, yeah, you do have some races out there that was left things for, you know, that they was left a start, they was left a business, they was left a lot of trades and stuff like that, and a lot of us didn't get, you know, we wasn't left none of that stuff, you know. We wasn't left businesses, you know, like for those of us of the families that we had back when we were segregated and we had our Black Wall Streets and we had our black communities that was pumping, you know, they took that from us. They burnt it down. They stole our assets. So a lot of us who probably was possibly tied into those families no longer had it because we was murdered, pillaged, and killed for what we had, you know. But back to this financial stuff. Back to financial advice. Now, to me, financial advice is very simple. Like, I can sit here and tell you, you know, like, oh man, go study the stock market. You know, go study trades and go study like you know, all this like Bitcoin and stuff like that. I can tell you to do it. And you can study. It's like studying the lottery. I can tell you right now, man, go find that system that's going to guarantee you to win the lottery. But it's by chance. You know, it's by chance. Don't like jumping in the stock market and being like, man, I found the right. It's by chance. It's by chance. It's no real system to that. Like I know some people say, well, it's a system. But from what I see, it's a system. It's a chance. It's like everybody's not going to jump in and study stocks and pick the right stock and become billionaires and become millionaires and buy into the right stocks and buy into the right options and opportunities. Those are by chance, you know? And a lot of people who buy into these things, they buy into them and they forget about them, like, cause they got throwaway money already. So they may put a couple thousand into something that, oh man, it look like it's gonna be all right, man. If it boom, it boom, but they forget about it. Then all of a sudden, a couple years later, they found out they'd made 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes in the double-digit high millions of dollars on that investment that they done, but it was by chance, you know. You could start a business, like I said. You could anybody on this planet right now that's of a sound mind and of a sound age that understands somewhat of what business means. You can start a business, but it's really by chance that your business is gonna flourish because guess what? Are you and are what you starting something that's already in an oversaturated market? Is it something that the world has never seen? Is it something that the world actually needs? So all these things, yeah, you can do a bunch of research and you can do, you know, a bunch of preparation, but a lot of this stuff is really by chance. So when it comes to finances and how to, I guess, deal and manipulate and matriculate and stuff with money. First of all, I tell people, structure is put in for a reason. And what I mean by structure, a structure, what I mean by structure is when it comes to financial structure, what I mean by financial structure is this. You get up, you go to work Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday and Sunday. You get your paycheck, you earn it, right? When you earn your paycheck, you put some money to the side, you sacrifice. You sacrifice something to the side. Sacrifice something to the side. Every time you get paid, you sacrifice a building stone. Boom. You maybe sacrifice $100 building stone. Boom. Every time you get paid, $100 building stone. So you sacrifice, which means you have to figure out, you have to cut back from your wants. You have necessities in life that you need, but you might have to cut back from your wants. You have to know how to cut back from your wants. If you have a goal in mind, you need to put financial building stones to the side. So that, guess what that means? You might don't get to go out with your partners all the time. Your dating life, especially if you're not married, might have to cease for a while. All those $200 dates that they tell you got to be on, maybe that $200 you need to be putting to the side for 6, 7, 8 months, a year, 2 years. You need to be putting that $200 to the side. All that money that you will be spending in the dating world, maybe you need to put that to the side for a year and a half, and see how much you'll accumulate to go start your business. Maybe as a male, you might have to start learning how to cut your own hair. Haircuts damn near $30, $40. So guess what? Maybe every week you getting your haircut, you might got to put that money to the side. You might got to sacrifice that. See, there's a lot of things that we do in life that we spend money on that we don't necessarily have to spend money on. We're just too lazy to do it for ourselves. We're too lazy to learn. And I get it, I understand. There's things that people do that everybody got to get paid, and we in the hastiness of life, and we always on the move and we always on the go, but sometimes you have to learn, like me. I ain't the best musician in the world. I haven't really got to sit down and be an artist. And I like to rap. I've been rapping since I was maybe like 13, 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I noticed about my life is that I never had a chance to actually sit down and be an artist. Why? Because I bypassed dumping money into other people. You understand what I'm saying? Which, in hindsight, it probably could have hurt me a little bit, because I maybe do need, no, not I, maybe, I know I do. I need other ears to just let me be an artist, to just let me go in the booth and to just let me do what I do and be like, hey man, put your ears to it, it's fresh, fix it, give me a finished product. But that takes money to do that though. Money that I wasn't willing to spend. I was sacrificing for other things. You see what I'm saying? And even back in the days, when I used to, before I grew my hair out, you know what I'm saying? I started my own barber stuff when I was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? And I have never been to a barbershop ever since that day. Like in the times of me cutting my hair back then, before I grew my hair out, guess what? I was cutting my own hair every week, fading myself up. Guess why? I was saving my money. I taught myself how to cut hair. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to sacrifice stuff financially, especially if you have a plan, if you have an idea, you have to sacrifice things financially. You see what I'm saying? Now, it's a difference between saving and sacrificing. See, you might have a savings account. You might go to work, and out of your pay, every week or every 2 weeks you get paid, you already probably got, $100 or $200 going straight to your savings account off top. You see what I'm saying? That's savings. But your sacrifice is something totally different. What goes into your saving goes into your saving. Your sacrifice is something on top. Your sacrifice is what you're going to add to that savings on top of what's already going into that savings. You see what I'm saying? So that savings you was already so used to not even touching it. Now you got your sacrifice on top of it. You see what I'm saying? So whatever you decide to sacrifice, you got to hold fast to that sacrifice. You add that to your savings and you don't touch it. You don't touch it. No matter how weak you may get for what you want, remember, you say you got something that you really need to happen. You really need to start. You know what I'm saying? So learn how to sacrifice and know what to sacrifice from your life that you really don't need. Now, second part of financial advice is savings. Saving. It's always good to save. It's nothing wrong with saving money. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with saving money. But guess what? Ain't nobody really have time to be working 50 years saving money just to retire and you still haven't made $1 million yet. Like, you're not gonna save your way to a wealthy life. You're not gonna save your way. You're not gonna save your way to a generational wealth change just by saving check to check. That's not gonna happen. That is not happening at all. Like, you gotta have some money, you gotta have some liquid cash already that you got stashed. And you gotta understand, in order for all the people who talking about generational wealth changing and stuff like that, you gotta understand, y'all gotta understand what you mean by generational wealth. Generational wealth. Like, generational wealth is not, $2 or $3 million. Now, don't get it wrong. $2 or $3 million can definitely help. But you talk about changing generations, now you gotta have some money set aside. And saving check to check is not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you not to save, but what I am is, I'm telling you, don't depend on that method. I remember when I was young, about 11, 12 years old. And, back in the day, I used to wonder. My grandfather, he never really trusted banks. He never really trusted banks, and he never wanted to, I guess, take that risk with his money, because once you lose a risk, you lose what you save. And he always had this idea that he was going to save his way to the riches. And now, when he did, yeah, he saved money. He saved money. But I think he invested more energy and years into the process of savings than what it turned out. Like, into what it, when he looked at the grand scheme of things, it's like, man, this is all I saved. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna save your way to wealth. You're not gonna save your way to wealth. Forget about it. Unless you have money, like unless you sitting on a couple hundred M's, you know what I'm saying, some millions of dollars that you can put to the side, that you're not touching, that you're letting the interest grow, and et cetera, et cetera. You're not gonna save your way to riches. You're not gonna save your way to generational wealth changes. It's not gonna happen. So saving is something. Saving is like for something you want to do, like the near future or an initial impact on something. Like, I want to save for a car. Okay, that's cool. You can put however many X amount of dollars to the side for 2 or 3 years, and you can save for a car. That's different. Saving for a house, it depends on how much money you're playing with. See, because what you're saving for is indicative to what you're bringing in too. That's another thing. It's like, don't be trying to save for a house. Well, you can save for a down payment. Yeah, that's cool. But don't be honestly thinking you have this mindset that I'm saving to pay off my house, and you only work a $10 an hour job, $12 an hour job. That makes no sense. That's not realistic. Especially if the ideal of your house that you want is in a new up and coming start neighborhood. And it's not an old house that's riddled with asbestos and stuff like that you just, so you can have a house. It's unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like don't have this ideal that you work a $15 an hour job and you're saving for a car. There's nothing wrong with saving for a car if you get like a Toyota or something like that. But don't think you fit to save and get a Bentley. Think you fit to save and buy a Bentley cash off of $15 an hour. That's unrealistic. Let's be realistic with what you're saving. Now, on top of that, this is where the tide changed financial with financial advice. I already told you, you ain't gonna save your way to wealth. I already told you that the these investments and stuff like that, these games are by chance. You know what I mean? Now, it's simple as this. When it comes to finances, this is one thing you have to understand. When the money quadruples and flip, or you get a return back on some money, or you make profit. Remember what I told you? I said, man, a lot of people have money to play with. And the reality is, don't get it twisted. You can by luck and by chance go do something and stumble across some money, or come across some money, or plot, plan, and scheme and come across a lick to where it can put you financially in front of it to where you got some money to play with. But at the end of the day, you must have some money to play with to make money. You got to have money to risk. You got to have money to risk to make money. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, very seldomly you have a person who's coming out here with absolutely nothing but a dream, and turn that into an empire. Very seldomly, you don't have that. Some of these people are putting up their houses, they're liquefying everything they got. They dipped into the savings that they had. You have to have money to risk. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. You have to have money to risk. You have to have money to put up front. You have to have money to keep your dream afloat while nobody's believing in you, until you find that right group of people that believe in what you're doing, or that right person who's willing to invest in you. You got to have money to keep your dream afloat. You got to have some money that you got to have an amount that you're going to sacrifice off top of that. Win, lose, or draw. This is the amount of money that I put aside to push this thing that I don't mind losing. Now, some people gamble it. Some people put the whole bank up there. That's how much they believe in their product. And guess what? Some people are successful, some people aren't. But you got to have money to play with. You know what I'm saying? You got to have money to play with. Now, don't get it twisted, man. We in social media. We in the social media area of life right now. So it's like, it's easy that someone can get on Twitter, or get on Facebook, or get on Instagram, and they have a talent, or they have something. Like, it makes it so so much easier, but it makes it so much harder, because now it gives what social media does, it shows you the oversaturation of everything. You see what I'm saying? Don't get it wrong. It shows you the diamonds in the rough too, but it shows you the oversaturation. And it'll show you that when you have a diamond in the rough, that the world, that society attaches onto, then it's going to show you how everybody gravitates to what that diamond in the rough made it successful with. Now everybody's going to try to saturate that and become the next person, the competition. Because guess what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with competition, man. Competition drives sales. You know? So in the social media area, you can have people who make it from something to nothing. I mean, we see it in the music industry all the time. You know, these kids who literally come in and just jump in the studio and use their last little paycheck to shoot a nice little quick video, and before you know it, they skyrocket. They change their whole life. They the new biggest thing in the industry right now. You know what I'm saying? So things like that can happen, but that's something that you shouldn't bank on. And always remember, you got to have some money to play with. You got to have some wiggle room, as they say. You know, you got to have some wiggle room. So when it comes to financial advice, you got to know what's luck. You got to know your chances of luck, and you got to know what you're dealing with. If it's a thing of luck, you got to know the oversaturation into it. You got to know if society, that's something that society needs or not. You know what I'm saying? You know, on top of that, you got to understand is that you ain't gonna save your way to wealth. You're not gonna save your way to wealth. You're not gonna save your way to riches. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not fit to get rich off of just putting $100 away every 2 weeks out of your check. That's not fit to happen. On top of that, you got to have money to play with. Like you got to have, like the game always says, it takes money to make money, and that's the truth. That's the truth. It takes money to make money. You know, it takes money to make money. You know, and then on top of that, the next piece of financial advice that I tell people that I feel like is the most important. Uh, you got to know who you're dealing with when you involve in your money, when you involve in your assets. You know what I'm saying? Because destiny is not reached by a solo man. That's just the truth. Destiny, destiny is always reached and obtained through connections. So it's like, even if I get on and I post videos every day, but guess what? The only way my video is gonna blow is through connections from people out there, or connections with some people that I may be in touch with on a daily basis. Like, the connections have to be there, and you have to know who you involve around your assets, who you involve around your money. You know, and you gotta have certain people around you that you can delegate things to get done. You know, not necessarily saying that you don't know all the aspects of what your money entails, but guess what? You got to have some people that are specialists in what they do. Like, you can't just be like, oh yeah, I know a little bit about this, a little bit about that, a little bit about that, a little bit about that. You're gonna run yourself dry. You're gonna stress yourself out. You're gonna strain yourself out. Get you some specialists around you that you can be like, hey, he mastered this. I trust that person. She mastered this. I trust her. Like, get some people that you can delegate things to when it comes to your money. They're going to give you a different perspective. They're going to give you a different outlook of maybe how the money needs to flip. They're going to possibly talk a different language than you. They're going to be able to put your money in room that your money and you wouldn't be able to get in the rooms with. You know what I'm saying? So you got to trust in your connections. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand that there's no self-made nobody out here. Ain't nobody in this world self-made. It's not. You're not. The whole self-made, the whole one deep. You name me one person who's doing everything by themselves. Even paying for their revenue to come back. You name that one person. There's no such thing. You know, so you got to know who you involved with and who you get involved with your money. That's a must. You know, financial advice is not like, it's not like no big major like something to study. It's not really. It's simple. It's simple. You get you a plan for something. You get you a plan. You get you a plan for whatever you're trying to do. You get your plan. You map it out. You have it down to a T. You have your plan. You have your plan just on lock. And make sure you're not missing no points, no marks, no dot your I's, cross it, you know what I'm saying? Cross your T's, all that. Have it all mapped out. And then you got to have some money, which means that while you trying to plan for this thing that's going to change your life, you got to have some money to keep this thing afloat. So you got to have some income coming in somewhere. You got to have some money to play with. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some money to play with. And then in the process, you have to know within that process, after you plan, after you got some money to play with, you got to know within that process that are things that are going to happen that are luck and that hard work is going to bring to you. You got to know that. You see what I'm saying? You got to know what's luck and what's hard work. You know, and then on top of that, you got to be on top of the people that you bring across that, the people you involve into your money. That's it. Like, it's not nothing super like crazy that's gonna make you rich. Like it's no super rule. It's no super. I don't know what everything is, but it's not like it's not nothing that is up to it's not something that's impossible to people. It's more simple than what we think. You know, it's more simple than what we think. It's just we gotta have the right pieces fall into place. Now, some people might say having all those pieces fall into place is a blessing. Some people may say it's luck. I don't know how you see it, but you gotta make sure you have those pieces together. You gotta make sure you have your mind set straight. Know what you're gonna sacrifice. Know what you can deal with. Know what you can't deal with. Know what you can give leverage to, and know what you can't give leverage to. You know, and it's pretty much simple as that. You know. You don't know. You don't know your outcome. You don't know. All you can do is put some consistent work into what you're doing, and you don't know what the benefits are going. You don't know what you're going to reap. You really don't. So the outcome can be uh, the outcome now. Once that thing get popping, once it's sparked, the outcome can be of abundance. You know, uh, you don't know. I don't think Bill Gates knew he was going to ever be as big as he was. I don't think Steve Jobs knew he was going to ever be as big as he was. I don't know if Bezos thought he was going to be that big. I don't know. I don't know if anybody who's a major figure in this world knew off the top that they were going to be as big as they are. You know, uh, your longevity is due to your consistency and and your adaptability. You know, being able to change with the tides and being able to recognize the changes before they actually happen. So capitalize, my friends. I mean, I'm not no financial like guru. No, I ain't none of that. I just see on the commonalities of life, man. I just see how, when it comes to dealing with financial stuff, man. To me, I don't think it's something that that they gonna sit you in a dark room and give you like some special enlightened knowledge that you need to know. No, man. I just think you need to just have your plan and stick to it. That's it. One, have your plan and stick to it. Two, have you some money to work with within that plan that's going to help you progress and push that plan. Three, know what your hard work can get done and know what it's going to take luck or blessing to get done. Four, be sure you know who you got involved with, your assets, your money. You see what I'm saying? Five, consistently stay on top of that. To me, that's it. Consistently stay on top of that and be able to adapt and be able to spot that stuff out. Be able to spot the changes, be able to spot the turn in society and everything. Be able to spot that, But until then, my name is Side Boss, man, and holla at you boys.